Welcome to WCS Europe. You can never trust Carmack and Apollo when they're hanging around, can you, to set me up? Welcome to WCS Europe, Season 2 Premier League, final day of the season. Today we'll see two players guaranteed a place in the end-of-season finals in the 5th, 6th playoffs, and of course the semi-finals and the grand final to crown our Season 2 European champion. Let's check in with the brackets and show you how it's all worked out so far. As you can see, our semi-finals a little later on today. MMA versus MC, and Duck Duck takes on the last European hope in the form of Grubby. It's going to be another fantastic day of StarCraft 2. Final days already are. If you watched WCS America last night, they're also on their final day today as well. So we'll see all of the players who will enter the last 16 in our end-of-season finals. Before we get there, though, we will have the 5-6 playoff matches. It's a slightly awkward title, but I think you probably understand what we mean. This season, Europe gets 6 players into the grand final, so we have to find 2 more in addition to our top 4, and they'll be playing very shortly. We're going to get into our first matchup in a moment, but don't forget, social media-wise, you can interact with us and engage, and we'd love to see your tweets, both from you guys here in the crowd as well. You can tweet out your pictures and what have you. Make sure you use the hashtag #WCS, and if you're a fan of Facebook, facebook.com/StarCraft. So, where are we right now? We're in game number 1 of the 5th, 6th playoff. Let's introduce you to the 2 players. It's going to be a cracker. It's Germany's hometown hero. It's HasuObs. And as you can see from the graphic, he goes head-to-head with Welmu from Finland. Both of them suffering a bit of a bad defeat, it has to be said. There's no way of dressing it up yesterday. They were poor, but today they have a chance at some redemption, and we're going to find out from both of them before the match kicks off just what they think about it. First of all, here's Todd with HasuObs.
Thanks, Paul. I'm here with the man, the legend, the local hero, HasuObs. Why are you smiling? You're a legend, man.
Maybe.
Okay, very modest. Yesterday, you suffered a devastating loss versus MMA. Obviously, you did not get to make it into the World Finals just yet. Today, you get another chance, a chance at redemption. You're going to be playing against Welmu. How do you fix your mindset from yesterday to today? Do you completely forget about the game? What adjustments have you made so that you can play your very best today and make sure you go to the World Finals?
Yeah, actually, I just tried to forget the match against MMA. It was pretty disappointing, especially the second map, I think. But I just tried to forget everything and focus on the upcoming PvP. And lately, my PvP has been very good, so I feel a bit more confident in that matchup. And yeah, it's another match ball for the season finals, so I really want to take it.
Okay, stylistically, how do you think you will rate yourself versus Welmu? We know he's a very aggressive player. You're pretty much the opposite of him. Do you think you're going to be attacking before the 10th minute, or well, what can we expect? Well, I don't want you to reveal too much because he might be able to hear us, but at least what do you expect out of him?
I saw a lot of VODs, like against Finale and MC from yesterday, and basically he was kind of offensive, but usually he was going for a pretty quick expansion, which is pretty normal nowadays in PvP, unless you want to go for some one-base stuff. And well, yeah, I made some thoughts about the builds, and like in PvP you can always switch it up. You don't have to be always defensive or always defensive. Like you can open up different ways, like Stargate, Council, or Robo, and then the game develops very differently every time, I think.
Okay. You're the only German player who's made it this far, and now you're playing here in Germany. I'm sure a lot of people are cheering for you, whether it's in StarCraft or here. Do you have anything to say to them? You can even say something in German if you want.
Ja, danke, dass ihr mich alle unterstützt. Letztes Mal war Oja auf den Season Finals, und das möchte ich auch sehr, sehr gerne schaffen. Und ja, drückt mir die Daumen. Dankeschön.
That was very long. All right, this has been an interview with HasuObs. Now we're going to be heading back over to Paul for an interview with his future opponent, Welmu.
Thanks very much, Todd. HasuObs, of course, the local hero. He's bound to get a bit of support, but I'm with Welmu now. Welmu, yesterday, tough day. You know, hard for you to come back from that, but how do you approach today? Because it's another chance, it's a big opportunity for you to go to the end of season global finals.
Yeah, I was very disappointed after losing, but then I just took a look at my mistakes and then just collected myself and prepared myself for today.
Okay, HasuObs is your victim, your potential victim. How do you feel you match up against him?
Well, I really like PvP, but yesterday's loss was pretty rough, but I think I still have very good shot. It will be very interesting match, and let's see. Okay.
It's interesting for me, and I know a few people at home have also said this, that you've come here, as we've said before, your story is a great story because you went through tons of qualifiers to get in, you then had to go through Challenger, then you got to Premier League, and you've made your all the way through to the top 8 in Europe, which is already an amazing achievement. And you do that with good grace, with good humour, with that wonderful Finnish accent of yours, and you do it without a team top. I mean, you're like the ultimate amateur that's come through to professional. I mean, tell us why.
Well, I don't know, my team hasn't just sent me a t-shirt yet, so I don't have it yet.
Okay, you need to get on to that, guys, because you've kind of missed out on some exposure here. Joking aside, you have played superbly well. You're guaranteed of being in the Premier League next season, so what do you do with all the spare time you're going to have now?
Well, I don't know. I just chill and play some StarCraft and, I don't know, maybe study a little bit. Let's see.
Okay, study a little bit. We need to come up with a nickname for you, and I'm always tempted. It's a cliche, though, isn't it? Because all the Finns are called the Iceman. Kimi Räikkönen, Mika Häkkinen, they're all called the Iceman. So what do you want us to call you?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Something not rude.
It's hard to say myself. I think fans know better how I am, like how they think I am. I don't know.
Well, there's a challenge there for the community to come up with something other than the Iceman. You're not allowed to use that.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit, because I'm really interested in your thoughts about the whole WCS experience for you, because you have actually experienced the whole thing. What's it been like from start to finish?
You mean like in premium or like from start to finish?
Yeah, from the moment you decide. I mean, you decided, okay, I'm gonna jump into this. I'm gonna show the world I'm a great player.
When it was announced, I was just thinking about that. This is like very good opportunity, like for me to like get like, I don't know, manage to do good and like big tournament and all stuff where I could do good. And so yeah, and then the premium qualifiers were like very tough for me. Like I was always so close to getting in, and like it was 4 days in a row, and like my all days were like just play tournament and maybe do some study things if all time I had left, and then sleep, and like it was very tiring. But then I luckily managed to get in the Challenger, and yeah, then I got in premium, which was nice, and then like I don't know, I just won all my games and now I'm here, and it's been like really awesome. Like yeah, everything has been really awesome. Expect losing in the premium qualifiers.
Except that, which we didn't like, but that's okay. I mean, it's early days for you still. I'm sure you've got a great career ahead of you, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you over the years and over the seasons to come. So congratulations for reaching this. Best of luck against HasuObs, and I hope you have a good game regardless of the result. So there's Welmu. We've heard his thoughts. We've heard HasuObs' thoughts. It's time to get the thoughts of our commentary team. For the first matchup this morning, it's Apollo and Kalaris.
Thanks very much, Paul. Welcome to the caster's desk here as we now determine those last 2 spots for the season finals. First one decided between Welmu and HasuObs. A pretty even PvP, I think.
Yeah, I think this can really go anyway. I'm not too sure which way it will go, but it really can go either way. But one thing I'd like to know, for Welmu's nickname, I quite like the Bumblebee Toss. In the t-shirt that he's wearing, and he packs a sting.
He does pack that sting, so I'm with you with that. That's pretty good.
The Bumblebee Toss. And we will be getting into the vetoes in a couple of moments here to start us off. And this is an important best of 5. This is a series in a PvP here, which determines whether you go to the Season 2 finals or not.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty big. Like, just remember how Lucifer felt last season when he just narrowly missed out.
It's it's I think even just qualifying for it guarantees you like $5,000, something crazy. So like a big chunk of prize money just for qualifying alone is fantastic. They've already gained quite a bit here, and then they gain a lot of WCS points extra if you actually move on to the season final. So huge stakes on the line here for these next two series, as we have Mr. Hasu vetoing Neoplanet S, then Star Station goes out for Welmu.
Yeah, I think one thing to consider as well is that the top 8 of this season is completely different to last season's top 8, which means in the European scene, it's anybody's game, depending on who comes out on top. Stefano is the highest earning WCS point ranker so far, but he's retired. So that position can be taken up. And even though there isn't like an internal rank for who's the best in Europe and it doesn't matter that much, but anything's to play for when it comes into Season 3, and who potentially can get to the ultimate top 16 position. For example, if HasuObs goes to Season 2 finals, or Welmu, that gives them a massive boost in points.
Oh yeah.
And then if they do well in Season 3 in the Europe Premier League again, because they're both qualified for it, then they potentially have a shot at the top 16, which will send them to BlizzCon at the end of the year.
I mean, Hasu right now sits at 40th in terms of that ranking, and then we have Welmu sitting at 51st. So that does include the 100 points that they get from being qualified for next Premier season. But it's interesting how the rankings have worked out thus far. For example, I mean, if we go on a tangent slightly and look at Grubby's sitting at 20th.
Yep.
He has got a lot of points under his belt this season and could easily breach that top 16 spot if he plays his cards right. But now to these guys, as we said before, a lot on the line here. You normally get these kind of series in tournaments. It's like, well, yeah, you're just determining like the difference between 5th and 6th.
Oh, this is massive.
It's huge in comparison to a normal tournament just for prize money. Very, very big indeed here.
I mean, Todd said it right. That guy on screen is a legend when it comes to esports.
Yeah.
He may not be the Boxer or the Flash or any of these super big name international players, but in the German scene, he's been around forever. He represented Germany well in Warcraft 3, and he's done the same in StarCraft 2, a multiple-time German champion, but he hasn't gone and done well in a big international tournament. I think his highest result was a 4th place at the Intel Extreme Masters China a couple of years ago, or something along those lines. 4th place in TSL 3 as well. But now is his time to go to the Season 2 finals to represent Germany once again in a big international tournament.
Well, the interesting thing here, though, is that HasuObs, yes, he is a legend in the German scene and arguably on the perimeters of the international scene as well. And a lot of his PvP is focused in Germany. Now, if you take that and say, well, you know, HasuObs' PvP style is going to be very German-orientated, EPS, things like that. Going to Welmu, he has played in Heart of the Swarm 19 maps against German Protoss and hasn't lost a single one.
Wow. HasuObs has 77 win percentage in this matchup, but it is against a small pool of players.
Yes.
So both players are absolutely incredible in this matchup. I don't know who's going to win it. Welmu thought he could win the entire tournament on his PvP until he met the boss toss.
Oh, yeah.
He's super aggressive. He's playing some of the best StarCraft that he's played in a very long time, and he's here, the Bumblebee toss, ready to sting. And we'll see if he can stop the solid player of HasuObs, who has so many years of playing at high-level tournaments. And he knows what it takes to win a best of 5. Both players did lose yesterday, HasuObs to MMA, Welmu to MC. Both have forgotten about that because it is all about this series, this best of 5 coming up. And it is all about going to the Season 2 finals to represent Europe. They could be one of those players.
Yeah, Welmu is so confident in his PvP, but likewise Hasu with that amazing win percentage, as you just stated previously. Newkirk Precinct will be our first map here in this best of 5. So let's get right into it. PvP, HasuObs versus Welmu. Hype. It's all about this man, as we have spawned down to the bottom right-hand corner, our red Protoss, representing Mouse Sports and Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for HasuObs. And down to the bottom left, our blue Protoss, representing Neurosoft and Finland. Ladies and gents, give it up for Welmu. I think he's certainly accrued himself a few fans over the course of WCS.
Yeah, this season's been really, really good for Welmu, displaying an excellent series of PvP Protoss versus Protoss games. In the round of 32, was able to beat Baby Knight and showed some of the best. I remember speaking to Artosis on Skype together after the game's completed, and he told me that Welmu has the best PvP in Europe and he plays like a Korean. Yeah. That's what he told me, and I was like, dude, I agree. It was amazing. Duck, who was in the semifinals later on, he lost versus Welmu in that round of 16. He lost versus Welmu. Welmu let the pressure, let the two-time GSL champion Boss Toss get to him, and it affected his gameplay. He made mistakes he wouldn't usually make. But now against HasuObs, I think he's going to play like we saw him earlier against Baby Knight, like we saw him against Duck. I think he's got the confidence to go far here, to be able to push himself into the Season 2 finals. But HasuObs, we talked about it, he's a veteran. He's an absolute veteran.
I think you're right about Welmu. I think that he feels far more comfortable playing against opponents that, you know, he's probably ran up against a million times on ladder, and that's going to be a little bit of an aid here to Welmu. Meanwhile, though, HasuObs has, I would say quietly in the German scene, just been playing at his very, very best for a long time, if at all, across his StarCraft 2 career right now. And that is reflective in his win ratios. And we'll see now if Welmu, who is considered a PvP master here in Europe, can stand up to Hasu.
Well, HasuObs is going to grab this game by the balls. He's got a lot of Chrono Boost saved up here, and I'm pretty sure he's going to throw it into the Stalker and the Mothership Core to really get a good grasp of the game, to get a feeling for the game, poke up the front with a Zealot and Stalker, back with the Mothership Core here, and it is actually a pretty strong build to use. He also has the option to throw a lot of Chrono Boost into the Cybernetics core as well, but I think the first thing I mentioned is going to be the choice from HasuObs here. It's great scouting. It punishes any player that's greedy with its one-gate tech, and that's what we're seeing from the German player inside his main base.
Yeah, certainly. This is going to be a little bit of a poke here from Hasu, and again, you're right, it can throw even your opponent off a little bit. That being said, for Welmu, though, with that second gateway down, he will have quite a few Stalkers out eventually, with his Mothership Core as well. So if he does control properly, he should be very, 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 very fine.
Well, one thing he could kill for sure with the amount of units he has pumping out is the Zealot. The Stalker can run away, and the Mothership Core is in a position where it can just fly back untouched from ground units. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, he will hold the game a bit more. He's going to deal with what HasuObs has. A third gateway coming down from the Finland.
Whoa, he took a little bit of damage there, which was a little bit unnecessary. But yeah, right, third gateway is going down. Meanwhile, second gate for HasuObs, pylon at the back here, maybe throw down some tech at the back. But that Stalker has to retreat out for now. And that Mothership Core, maybe get one or two probes here, could potentially.
Definitely doesn't want to use a time warp here because he's going to be able to see the three gateways. He has to focus on keeping that... well, actually, he's in a bit of a weird position now. Yeah. But he needs to focus on keeping energy for a photon overcharge here, because Welmu with three gateways definitely can put pressure on.
And let's see here. There is that pylon going down up to the north here for Welmu, but it has been spotted by HasuObs, so a great spot. And he has seen that there is a third gateway down as well for Welmu. So HasuObs right now knows pretty much everything, aside from the robo that's going down, but he's getting his own as well.
Yeah, nice cancel there from Welmu, but this stops any pressure now. So immediately he's like, oh, okay, got to throw down a robo and expand, but as that happens, and as Welmu's moving across the map, the Mothership Core goes in. He's got to be careful not to lose it here. He may have to recall. Yeah, it's quite an expensive loss if he was to lose that.
And Welmu had to actually cancel a pylon there to get that Stalker out just a little bit quicker there.
Oh, a nice force field here. If they go up that ramp blindly...
I don't think he'll go.
No, he wouldn't make that mistake. Surely not.
Yeah. And he has the Mothership Core there as well, so he will get high ground vision. He will know what's going on, although he hasn't seen the sentry just yet. But using the high ground in terms of vision to his advantage. Whoa! Careful.
Careful. But he's going to get the Mothership Core.
Oh.
Nice pick off there by HasuObs, both players.
Very, very nicely done here by HasuObs.
Yeah, he's got a supply lead, and with the... actually, he should have enough energy for another force field soon. He's got to be careful, there's a lot of Stalkers.
There's a lot of Stalkers.
He's got a force field.
And does throw that down. Oh, but he lets one of the Stalkers up, and that's not really going to help him out
He actually has to warp in another sentry here, I feel, and Chrono Boost out the Immortal.
Yeah, it needs to come along. How many Stalkers do we have out? We have 7 against 4.
Ooh, the sentries are coming, but it's too late.
Oh, HasuObs has let this completely be breached here, and that's a lot of damage being done right now by Welmu. If those sentries go down, I mean, he just focuses the Stalkers as well, knowing that that's the brunt of the firepower.
Oh, he doesn't have another force field to land.
Oh, he killed the one with the high energy. That was great by Welmu. Killing off the one with the high energy meant that there was no second force field going down. Killing off pylons as well. Probes off the line here. Welmu playing out this game 1 really nicely.
And the Immortal's going to be targeted down immediately, which is why the probes have to come off to give him some protection. The Immortal, if that goes down, then probably the game will as well. This is disastrous here for the German.
There you go. GG for game number 1. Welmu will take it. Fast and furious. Not quite like too many of the PvPs we've seen thus far.
Cutthroat. Really cutthroat. Seconds, small details make the difference in this matchup. If he had one more force field there, these units didn't get in, and he has an Immortal left with all his Stalkers. That's the big difference there.
But again, kudos to Welmu for focusing down the correct sentry. It's very important to actually limit your opponent's space control there in a situation like that. And now Welmu with that 1-0 lead in this best of 5.
Yeah.
Looking good.
Good start. And look at it, he's like, I can't believe that just happened to me.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
That was a tough break.
It is a little bit unfortunate. That really is a situation where you go, well, that sucks. Like, I shouldn't have lost that. It was just if I had a sentry out there, just one more sentry would have been great. And he knows, he's shaking his head again. That's a devastating loss there for the German. And in a best of 5 against a player like Welmu, the Bumblebee toss is scary because now you put yourself in a really bad position. It's not the best way to start this series, of course.
He's buzzing around you. HasuObs, can he catch that fly? Maybe not. Right now, Welmu looking pretty good, as he'll have to now book up his ideas. Whirlwind will be our second map in this PvP. Maybe a little bit of a longer game, but still there's the potentials for just as short here, as Welmu with that 3-gate aggression looking very, very nice.
Yep, looking nice.
All right, game number 2 on the way here, guys. If Welmu takes this, then HasuObs has a tough road ahead of him. And again, Welmu looking so calm right now here in PvP. So let's jump in, as we have. Spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Protoss, representing Mouse Sports in Germany. Give it up for HasuObs. And up to the top left, our blue Protoss, representing NRS and Finland. Give it up for Welmu.
All right, Whirlwind's not the best start of that previous game there for HasuObs. Just simple mistakes, really. You know, I think when I looked briefly, 600, 300 gas, 600 minerals. Just a little bit slow on things there, and it's a little bit unfortunate. Really a little bit unfortunate. Definitely a mistake here that lost him that game, rather than Welmu doing something extraordinary to win it. But a good start here for the Finnish player. And remember that the actual highlight game of the 5th and 6th place matches, I think, is the next one. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be Naniwa versus Vortex down there.
Uh-oh.
That's going to be a great game. So bear in mind that when we finish this best of 5, that game will commence. And that's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, certainly, man. These the games all day are actually going to be very, very nice.
And then off the back of that, MMA and MC. Exactly. Oh, yeah, get in.
Proper good.
Looking forward to that one. That's my favorite of the day.
That is going to be nice. 2 former proper good champions now will be facing off against one another later on. And then Grubby versus Duck Duck. The Grubby, the last European hope here, trying to defend against the Koreans. It's a good day of StarCraft.
Lots of good StarCraft here at the WCS EU Premier League. And all games will be best of 5 until the finals best of 7. Bear that in mind as well. And we will have a champion, the second champion of the Premier League. Last time we had MVP. Definitely a different player today. Completely different player that wasn't even in the top 8 last season.
Yeah. It keeps going. And MVP, he lost to a few of the people that are still remaining here. So anyway, now on to this game. We have Welmu's going to spot his opponent a little bit earlier than HasuObs will. And he sees the second gateway already going down, so he knows what his opponent's up to at this point.
Yeah, he's only been mining gas from 2 probes in each assimilator, so he hasn't had as dramatic of a gas income than his opponent, which means that we're going to see some takedown from Welmu, and that tech is going to be the Twilight Council. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Blink, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to be DTs. It's Welmu, it's his favorite structure. It seems to be his favorite unit in this matchup. We see sometimes he squeezes in a DT, and he manages to pick up 6, 7, 8 kills with it.
Even when the odds are against him. I mean, we've seen, you know, his opponent makes a robo, makes an observer, but somehow the DT still slips through. It's a strange phenomenon, and it's only something that Welmu seems to be able to do, right?
Yeah, there it is. There's the Dark Shrine. His favorite. And that's something that HasuObs, upon, you know, his pre-game interview with Todd, he watched a lot of VODs and replays of his opponent, said that he likes a lot of gateway expands, which is true, but also the thing that I would say, the structure, apart from pylons and gateways, that is most common, probably the Cybernet core as well, and probably Nexus as well.
Yeah.
Maybe assimilators too, I forgot about that one as well.
There's quite a few, to be honest.
But the Dark Shrine is up there.
It certainly is. He likes it, and he's going to prepare himself, maybe throwing down a pylon down there just to be able to warp in a little bit closer. HasuObs he still hasn't seen his opponent. He's going
He has no
elsewhere.
idea. He thinks he's up to the top right.
Oh, this is bad. Well, I mean, Hasu does have a robo facility on the way.
He's going to go up and be like, all right, I'm going to get him. I'm going to surprise him.
Let's go.
All right, he hasn't expanded yet. All right, let's see what he's got up that ramp.
Sick.
All right, is he up there? Where is he? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What? You're
Aw.
kidding me, right? Oh, what? He has to go to the other side.
Where's this probe going?
And look, there's a pylon there. Luckily,
It is natural.
there is a robotics facility which should be making an observer pretty fast.
But does he make a sentry to hold the ramp a little bit before
I don't
this?
think so.
No.
I don't think so at all. I think he'll make the observer, but the problem is that he will lose probes before. Got 3?
3? He should have walked in one in defense.
He's going for the robo. Oh my god.
Oh, he's going to kill it.
Oh my god.
He's going to kill it.
Oh my god.
He's going to kill it.
Oh my god. It's going to
It's
chrono
chrono
boost it out.
boosted.
It's going
He
to chrono
knows.
boost it out. It's going to be fine, I
He's
think.
not going to kill it.
But he's going to get all the probes.
Yeah, all
the probes.
They are dead.
Welmu needs a sentry
he does.
or a DT.
Oh.
Doesn't matter, actually.
Yeah, DT will be all right as well. Photon overcharge should buy him some time.
Oh no, it's unpowered!
Oh my god!
It's unpowered!
Oh my god!
It didn't get out!
I was like, oh, chrono boost is going to be fine, but
It didn't get out!
pylon
That's it, that's it.
really quickly.
That's actually game. That's game.
Uh-oh.
He's got a DT to defend, that's game. There's no way he's getting that out. Look,
Stalker Bros say.
it's game.
That's it.
No way, that was seconds.
It was at the pylon. I didn't even. I didn't think about it. Uh-oh.
Oh, this is just a bad day. This is not a bad hair day, Kalaris. This is a bad everything day.
GG, well played.
Wow.
Or GG Web, which could have mean size of the weapons of the Dark Templar that kill off things really, really fast.
Wow. That.
I did not expect
Oh
that.
my god. That is so annoying.
I didn't think about
That is so annoying.
Yeah.
Because game 1, it was, you know, a small mistake here and there that caused the loss, and then this game. Oh boy, that sucks. That really sucks for the German.
Yeah, and that kind of has to be a bit demoralizing.
So I guarantee he's saying, what? I mean, there's nothing I can't do that's not wrong. Everything is wrong. Why? Wrong, and all this negativity is coming in.
Yeah.
He has to, and I swear to God, has to focus, and not let it affect him. Yes, it sucks. It really does suck, and there is no other way to describe it than suck. It really sucks what's happening to him right now.
There's another S word in German that I almost blurted out a few weeks ago that he's probably thinking of. But yeah.
Yeah, it is bad, but he just needs not to let it affect him. Just do his normal game. If it affects him, this will be a 3-0.
And our third map will be Bel'Shir Vestige here, which Welmu has looked very good on in PvP here in the past. He is one game away from advancing on to the season finals. And for Welmu, that would be absolutely massive. That would be the grandest stage he has ever played on. And he's on the verge of it right here, right now. All right, game number 3. Hasu and Welmu. Can Hasu bring it back? There's 3 maps in it for him. He has to play at his absolute best here. As I said before, Welmu has not dropped a map against the German Protoss in Heart of the Swarm at all. And now spawning down to the bottom right-hand corner here as our red Protoss, representing Mousebots and Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for HasuObs.
And hey, oh boy, does he need some support here. Everything he can get. Maybe Mouse Sports need to get a mascot. Maybe they need a mouse as a mascot to come in with banners and start shaking things around.
Shaking things.
Get that hype.
The hype. All right, and spawning up to the top left-hand corner, our Finnish representative, as well as Neurosoft. Give it up for Welmu.
But Welmu, I mean, even, I know a lot of people here are wanting HasuObs to go through and represent Germany at the Season 2 finals, but you have to give credit to Welmu.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what a fantastic season is. Red Eye talked about it earlier on, from, missed out on Premier League qualifiers the first time around, had to go into Challenger League qualifiers, Challenger qualifier, won it, and then he went through into Challenger League itself, and then into Premier, and then the round of 32 in the Premier, then 16, and round of 8 now. It's been a long road. It's been a long road for the Finn, and he definitely, for me now, is the #1 in Finland. There's no doubt in my mind now.
Yeah.
No doubt. Elfie, you're good, but Welmu's #1.
Alfie's playing with his cat a bit too much at the moment, apparently. Little Pekka. It's not. We'll see now if Welmu can actually attain those heights again. He's certainly doing well for himself, though. Elfie's back on the rise, but Welmu is just a level above right now.
Yep.
And he's showing that here today. He's doing very, very nicely.
I think that the biggest representative that Finland's ever had, really on the biggest scene, is Nama.
Yeah.
Like, he's done so much. Elfie's been great, but with, winning DreamHack, the first ever DreamHack, and
it's a big deal.
Beating MVP at Home Story Cup, that's good enough as well. But Welmu is the guy that I look to right now in Finland that is one of the best, if not the best, as mentioned.
Yeah.
Double simulators, double 3 in each for HasuObs, and double gateway as well.
And if this actually ends in a 3-0 with these earlier aggressive moves, this is going to be the shortest PvP we have seen in quite a while.
Yeah.
There's always been these big macro games, but we're still seeing here that the early game pressures and the early game tactics still have a place in this matchup.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's not all 1-gate expansions and so on. Welmu has opened up 2 gateways. Everything's been spotted here from HasuObs. Welmu's in a position where he's like, everything I do is right, man. I don't need to scout. Doesn't matter. As he gets up to 3 Stalkers here, and is chronobursting into the Cybercore. Should want to put down this 3rd gateway. He's chronobursting into the Cybercore. You don't really want to rush out just 2 gateways alone. 3rd one is fine here. And will put on a bit of pressure. Will put on the pressure. There's the probe moving out to get that pylon down.
And HasuObs did go for that sentry first, so playing it a bit more defensively here than he was prior, which is important here for HasuObs. After those first 2 games, he's got to be taking precautions.
Yeah.
But it looks like he wants to go for expansion.
Yeah, like 2 gateway against 3 gateway is fine if you're defensive, as long as you don't mess up. Like, you get the force field down, you can pick off a unit or 2, you got the mothership core, it's building energy for photon overcharge. So I don't think it's a big deal here, and definitely can find a way to expand here, find a way to play defensive.
And that 3rd gateway is on the way here for HasuObs as well. So I think that, after seeing his opponent's poke out, he realizes that maybe it's a little bit overzealous to actually go for that early on, and he's going to throw a pylon down himself in his opponent's natural.
He won't expand now. He won't expand now because he's seen that there's no expansion, and he's got a pylon on the other side of the map. We can very easily play defensive, warp and zealous on the other side of the map, and if he can get to the mineral line while playing defensive himself and denying that chance, then he's in a really good position.
HasuObs just pulling his units back there now that the high ground vision has been granted by that mothership core. Nice control there as well from HasuObs, kind of picking away at that mothership core, and it will pull back for now, as well as the observer coming out for Welmu. So just making sure he's not going to get caught off guard. And the probe sees these zealots at the back, so he knows that there's some potential aggression.
Yeah, they're both just going to fall back now, and they should expand. Welmu can't be aggressive anymore, and HasuObs knows that because he has to come back to defend this. So both players should just want to throw down the Nexus. But it will be HasuObs with a slight lead here because it will be a little bit faster than his opponent. Not a big lead. He's not ahead in supply at this point, as there is an Immortal on the way. He doesn't even have an Immortal of his own down.
Oh, he got the probe there. That was nice. A second probe's going to come along. So a probe for 2 Zealots. Not 100% sure of that trade, but if the game goes on longer, it will be all right. And, well, he's going to find this pylon as well. So expansion versus expansion, and we can now see a bit more of that macro focus with HasuObs trying to shark him with that hallucinated Phoenix to know everything that's going on from his opponent.
Yep, C3 Gateway's Robo, so he knows he's mirrored. Welmu doesn't know that yet. He knows it's probably just going to be an expansion here, but he's probably assuming that they've both gone for Robo. So what usually is the most common fault when you both kind of know what you're doing is you both get up to 2 Immortals and then you go for a Warp Prism. Very, very good to be able to drop, You don't need to kill that much. 6 probes, couple of pylons. You know, either of the two is fine. And HasuObs, knowing that he's safe because there's no big aggression coming, is able to throw down the forge compared to his opponent who doesn't have that intel for sure. Is not 100% certain what this is, so doesn't have that safety net to throw down an upgrade structure.
And that's mainly because Welmu at the very beginning invested his gas into more defensive, like hammer strikes in the form of that first immortal that came out before HasuObs, whereas his sentries were a little bit later, so he didn't have the energy for the hallucination. So Welmu right now, he's still a little bit in the dark. I suspect we'll see hallucination very, very soon here, as the sentry does just now accrue 100 energy.
Yeah, it's a mistake if he doesn't find out exactly what his opponent's doing, but he is also at the same time building up quite a strong army. He hasn't decided to go for a warp prism. He's got another immortal coming down, and he hasn't taken the gases on his natural that really gives him the gas to be able to afford things later on. And with this moving out, Welmu is quite strong.
Yeah.
But with Immortal coming in, you can see the army supply difference. Photon Overcharge and Immortals and Sentries coming from HasuObs.
And he never produced any probes during all of this, did Welmu. He just expanded, and it's almost just a complete fake out here if he can actually do damage, but it's going to be difficult with those 3 sentries there for HasuObs, but this army is very strong.
HasuObs has cut pro production himself. He's cut pro production himself now. He's realizing that he kind of needs to defend here.
Could it be a bit too late, though? 42 works against 27. He has to be careful about this. Photon overcharge. It's going to be very helpful.
Oh, nice force fields.
Yeah, very nice here. Really cutting this away. He realizes that Colossus is a hallucination. And the Immortal gets caught in a bit of a bad spot there, but he's going to bring down the Nexus and just go on home. And there you go. There's the recall. Oh, nice.
What else can you say, man? This is just not going well. This is not going well. He's now lost his Nexus. He was not quite in the right position there. He was very defensive, expecting it all in when it was really just, you know, going down to kill him. HasuObs does have a bit of a supply lead at this point when it comes to his army value. Maybe he can get something done here. It's only a little bit there.
It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be very, very... He does have +1 attack, which helps, but... As long as maybe he keeps Welmu from taking gases on his natural and start to increase his gas income so that he can tech up himself, there is still an option that HasuObs doesn't fall too far behind in this.
It's so many sentries for HasuObs in terms of his army right now. In terms of raw output of damage, there isn't really that much. And Welmu going for the Zealots at the back here. A great block there, though, by HasuObs, making sure that those Zealots actually can't get to the mineral line. But again, at the front here, HasuObs, his one advantage is the amount of force fields he has. If he can actually separate up this army well enough, but I don't think he's going to be able to with that Photon Overcharge there as well.
I mean, if you look at the probe difference, and now with the Nexus finishing, as long as HasuObs grabs both the gases immediately on his natural, it's not that bad. You know, as painful it is to lose a Nexus, the pressure that he's put on across the other side of the map, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Yes, he still has not taken the gases, which is a little bit poor here.
Oh, good force fields. Do separate a bit of this army off. Very nice indeed, actually, there. And killing those sentries is a bit of a costly investment there for Welmu.
Nice pickup.
And he has to be careful. That's a lot of Immortals, though.
He's always got his recall, though. Yeah. And there's not enough anti-air to do anything about that.
Still really good force fields here. I was talking about the space control before, but Hasu is making it work. Does not want to lose the Mothership core. The Mothership core goes down, but you're right. I mean, they were very good force fields. And he has to fall back.
Yeah, this is... Photon Overcharge is ready in a minute too.
Yeah, this is suspect now. Sticking around for a little bit longer is probably not the best of positions.
Force Sentry's just got warped in. He wants to go again. He's only just now taking his gas on the natural. He's not mining from them yet. Only just a second getting in there. But he wants to try to go again here. Welmu is going to try and launch a counterattack if this happens with the Warp Prism.
That giving him 4 extra force fields gives him a straight divide down the army once again.
But
Welmu pulls back. Very, very wise there by Welmu, but he's going to go straight for the Nexus. Probes get pulled off a line here. HasuObs trying to go for exactly the same damage, but I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. He does kill a lot of probes there during that engagement. And, oh god, it's going to be so close. He has to pull back once again.
Tense game here, I mean... It's really back and forth, but HasuObs has thrown down the try to cancel and begins to fall back, finally. Doesn't want to get force fielded out himself. But yeah, look at that, the German player with a lead. He's got a little bit better of an income. Roughly equal army supply, a little bit in the lead himself.
And once again here, Welmu trying to go for this Zealot run by, but these are not working out for Welmu. This has been a lot of investment that hasn't really done a whole lot, as they just keep getting shredded away at by the Zealots that are positioned there and not really having damage into them. And now he finds the pylon, will kill that off. Army supplies right now heavily in favor of HasuObs, 55 to 38. So he's playing this out very, very nicely, considering what happened at the beginning.
It's interesting switch of techs for both players. Robotics Bay for Welmu, and Templar Archives here for HasuObs.
And there's the warp him here from this warp prism. Welmu is relentless with this. Photon cannon's going to go down. And Hasu does have that upgrade advantage. So, yeah, well, he will kill that off. He's forcing a lot of lost mining time here at least, but and his Immortal was attacking his own Nexus. Scary stuff.
Do a lot of damage. Looks like these Zealots will get picked off there finally. But, I mean, remember this, that HasuObs is playing to keep his dream alive of playing in the Season 2 finals.
Yeah.
Currently trailing 0-2, he needs this win. He is currently leading in this game. But with the way that Welmu's playing with Colossus, as soon as this gets scouted and figured out by HasuObs, I think that, you know, he starts to deal with it anyway. But I don't even think his army's that bad against Colossus. He's got already quite a few Immortals. He's already got Archons.
And adding on charge, good upgrade.
It's my best. It's the best. It's my favorite.
It's your favorite one?
It's my favorite upgrade.
It's a good one.
And now a third base as well. And HasuObs goes into the base with Hallucinated Phoenix now, and he will see the Robotics Bay.
Ooh, hallucinates a Void Ray here to try and throw his opponent off
I think
guard.
he knows that's fake.
Yeah.
He's got Hallucinated Phoenix inside the main base, and he scouted most of the main base here. So.
Only one doesn't see a Stargate, things like that. It's kind of tough to sell, but he'll try at least.
And with the third base coming down here, which has been spotted by Welmu, I still definitely peg HasuObs as a bit of a favorite here. Double Colossus is coming in, but the Stargate's already started for HasuObs. He knows exactly what's going on. He's not faked out by this Void Ray, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think he's just going straight up towards a Fleet Beacon. He's going to start to get the Tempest of his own. And if Tempest come out, then Welmu's just, you know, dead weight in the Colossus here, because they will get picked off fast.
And because of his army already, the fact that he did have that army supply advantage, because he had a lot of Zealots out, the number of Immortals he had, he can get up to that Stargate. Normally, this is a great timing for a Protoss to hit on the other side, trying to spend all of this gas on this kind of army, but in this situation, there isn't that timing. HasuObs still has a good army here.
Yeah, and Welmu doesn't know about it either, so it's hard to play against that if you don't know it's coming, unless he's predicted his opponent to already go up to that upon seeing Colossus being used. I mean, there's nothing more I can say than I think that HasuObs is in a pretty good position to potentially pick up this game here. The Fleet Beacon starts immediately. He's already got so many Immortals. The longer the game goes on, the weaker Colossus become, unfortunately. There's too many Immortals. Time Warp's the most important thing here, to be able to get that Time Warp down on the Colossus, and if that happens, Immortals and Archons with Zealots, they will reach the Colossus. Yeah. You can't kite back like in Winds of Liberty with this Mothership Core.
And getting that Time Warp down is going to be made even harder by the fact that HasuObs has 2 High Templars mixed into his army, so the feedback can quite easily hit that. And even if Welmu wanted to go for the aggression and was relying on that feedback, HasuObs has a contingency plan against that with that. So it's a very, very difficult thing here for Welmu now to kind of play this game out. He made decisions that HasuObs read into fantastically, and he's got +3 weapons on the way.
He hasn't even seen the Tempest. He still hasn't seen the Stargates, and he hasn't done anything to deal with them yet. He's only just now adding the Templar Archives in. Sure, he's finished with +2 and is about to finish with Zealot Charge, but this isn't going to help him. It's not going to help him. The Colossus count keeps on rising. 5 at the moment, 7 soon, but there's already 2 Tempests on the way. Like, 3 Tempests is fine to play with, 4 is fine, 5 is a one-shot, like...
I mean, perhaps that triple Hallucinated Phoenix scout there from HasuObs will remind Welmu that he also has that, and...
Well, for the first time, these Zealots now going to see a Tempest on the natural.
Ah, okay.
They'll actually see the Tempest, and now there must be just panic. He's like, no! They're here already!
I have so many Colossus, and this isn't going to be helpful against it. Ah!
So, it is a little bit nerve-wracking here for Welmu, who now sees 2. So now he knows that double Stargate is coming in. He immediately moves across the map with his army, throws down a 4th base, and now has to start to think, how is he going to fight? Does he go straight away now? Does he just has to go? I think so. Ideally, I don't think he's ready until he's maxed out, but he has to go, I think. Exactly. Otherwise, he's going to just be in a bunch of trouble. There's 9 Immortals here as well.
It's either that or he tries to buy time with harassment to try and get his own Tempest out, but being that far behind in regards to that Tempest production is a very, very tough spot here for Welmu to be in.
He's starting to increase his Stalker count and decided to research Blink. So he may try to blink around from the side to get a flank on the Tempests.
But with that many Immortals there?
Crunch is the word to describe that.
Yeah, still between a rock and a hard place. This is, the Zealots here trying to go for some harassment for HasuObs. So he's happy to just sit around until he's maxed out as well.
He's at 5 Tempest now.
Yeah.
He's at 5 Tempest. He can fight.
Time for one-shotting those Colossi.
As long as he has a reinforcement pylon close to keep the Zealot line strong while the Immortals and everything do the damage.
And they get completely shredded. It's actually really hard as the Colossus player here to make this fight work, because any little damage that HasuObs can find here just pokes on forwards or sees a Colossus with a watchtower. Every single Colossus that dies off is a massive investment here for Welmu in this later engagement.
Instant reactions there from HasuObs. Warps in Zealots to deal with the Zealot warp-in. Instant, with a couple of cannons coming down as well. All right.
Welmu here with this 4th base, almost up and running fully. And just adding on a few more gateways as well to just try and remax out once this engagement comes, because, again, his Colossi are going to die off very, very quickly. 5 Tempest is the magic number here to start one-shotting them. Not 100% sure with shield upgrades, but I don't think it makes too much of a difference.
A lot of gateways coming in here for Welmu, who's deciding to add gateways before maxing out his army, so he will have the capability to reinforce with a lot of units, wherever it is. That's nice to have, that.
And he's got to be careful. Dark Templar are already swiping away at this army, revealing that he doesn't have an observer there, importantly.
Here we go.
I mean, that was a trade. That was a great trade already for Hasu. He almost killed another one.
Yeah, good start here for the German, and it's going to continue like that. It's going to continue like that. He's now got a position on his opponent's 4th base while keeping his own. The Tempests have to be microed properly here. Another Hallucinate Phoenix goes in. Another Colossus goes down. Here comes a Blink forward, so he's got to be careful not to really lose any. He's targeted down the Colossus well.
One Tempest, not too
bad.
bad,
They're just
but
dropping like flies.
They get absolutely mashed, and we know how good HasuObs is against flies. As those Archons now move forward here with these Immortals as well. So much damage being done, but the Zealot's trapped at the back here for HasuObs. Not able to tank too much damage, but still, he is up in terms of supply. The Colossi have died off, but Welmu with his Archons and Immortals is still trying to push forwards here. The Tempests aren't going to be too much of a problem now, and this is kind of going to be, well, no, I mean, HasuObs, he just has too many Immortals.
If the Zealots were there, this would have been a lot easier than it looks, but it looks like he's going to push through anyway here. With so many Immortals, so many reinforcements coming through, the German player will push this back, and it seemed to look like this for the majority of the game. His army was just simply better. That's all that matters.
GG. Well played. Immortals are just the backbone of Protoss army right now, I feel. Rain showed us this at the end of Wings of Liberty properly, that they were so good going into this matchup. But now in Heart of the Swarm, when you can deal with Colossi that easily, and just thin off those numbers so you're not taking that much splash damage, Immortals reign absolutely supreme in this matchup at the moment.
Yeah, they do, and like I said, the longer the game goes on, the weaker they become, the Colossus. In this game, Welmu decided to commit quite strongly to them. He kept on building them. They were the main focus, the main damage output from his army, and they dropped like flies. They did. It was that simple as we saw. And HasuObs' army was better, it was stronger, and he's able to start the small comeback that we're seeing here. It's 2 games to the Finnish player, 1 game to the German. In a best of 5, the first player to get to 3 goes to the Season 2 finals representing Europe. And they don't need a European name, they already got one.
They've already got one. You're right, man. And what is our map? It's Derelict Watcher here for game number 4, as both of these players seem ready for the next map. So HasuObs making the comeback potentially. He played that game out well. Very, very well indeed. There was that poke at the beginning by Welmu.
That was a scary thing.
It certainly was, but obviously it came at the sacrifice of a lot of probes to actually make that happen. And it seems he just didn't do enough damage to make a big dent in what HasuObs was doing. All right, game number 4 now on the way. Can the German tie it up 2-2, or will the Finn advance on to the global finals? season finals even, I should say.
Yes.
As we now have game number 4 on the way here. HasuObs versus Welmu. Bumblebee versus Flycatcher.
Sounds like some Chinese karate film or something.
All right. Spawning up to the top right-hand corner as our Red Protoss representing Mouse Sports and Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for HasuObs. And down to the bottom left-hand corner, our Blue Protoss representing Neurosoft and Finland. Give it up for Welmu.
Have you seen the film The Bumblebee versus the Flycatcher starring Jackie Chan?
Sounds good, man.
The
I haven't seen it
sickest
though.
Film.
Is it really good?
It's so good.
Yeah?
It's one of my favorites. It has a lot of charging things in it. It's
Yeah.
my favorite film.
Nice. I'm liking that. He doesn't even actually kill the fly in the end. Spoiler alert, guys. He just kind
It got away at the end.
Everyone lives in harmony and lives to fight another day. Yeah. But now it's all down to battle. As Welmu, he's one game away from advancing on. That will be a massive, massive step for not only Welmu, but I also think the Finnish StarCraft scene. It's rare you would see Finns nowadays rise to those heights, and there certainly is a pretty vibrant scene over there. But Welmu's representing them well. Meanwhile, there's certainly a vibrant scene here in Germany, in HasuObs, and all the fantastic German players. And, well, that was the first map. Welmu's lost to a German Protoss in Heart of the Swarm. The first map.
Maybe more to come.
Maybe.
Maybe more to come here. And I'm pretty sure that HasuObs' mindset now coming into this 4th game is just calm. I think he's calmer now. After losing 2 in a row, the memories of what happened to him yesterday against MMA were like, God, it's happening again, like losing game after game. But now he's stopped it. Now it's like, all right, breathe, calm down, focus on the job, and that is to be able to pick up this next map and go to the 5th. He is going to scout again here, and that's something that we can see in trends of players that Welmu doesn't scout very often. Not even down to his natural sometimes. HasuObs, I don't think, is a player that has balls of steel to proxy or something like that, because if it's scouted, it's game over. But if it's not, it potentially is a game winner. But I don't think that's something to focus on, and I think Welmu will always be able to get away with it.
And, well, HasuObs has got a great scout off at the very, very beginning. Sees that Twilight Council. I have to say blink here.
Yeah?
If this was Dark Shrine after it being spotted, although didn't Welmu do that yesterday?
He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
I still think it's DTs, because he doesn't care, and he just wants to get the Dark Templar in. Like, he's like, all right, you know it's going to be that.
He loves them, man. He loves them.
He does.
He likes them like you like charge.
Yes. And it all stems from the Twilight Council.
It does.
Our common love.
The best building in the game, apparently.
But I really think that Welmu is content if he doesn't do damage early. Because I think what we'll see from him as well in this game quite early is a robotics facility. And I think he will use the Warp Prism to try to get that damage in.
Mr. Baby Knight tweeting us here about getting the closest to Crush Force Fields. I think he's probably meaning at the natural there. Force Fields did a number on Welmu over at that natural.
If HasuObs doesn't get detection, I'm going to lose my mind.
He has to. I mean, he's getting a sentry. He knows it's coming because he's got those sentries there.
Like, look at the Dark Shrine. Look how close it is. Yet HasuObs is just going to expand here. Does he really think that his opponent isn't going to go DTs? Okay, so the robotics facility comes in and he will expand here. At the same time, it is going to get picked up here. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, probe is hidden well.
I think he's just cutting it very fine, knowing that it was coming and saying, well, you know, I've got the sentries at the top of the ramp. I can force field when I see a blur. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm actually going to switch to HasuObs' vision on my thing and keep an eye on it.
One DT should be at least attempted here, I feel, and the Warp Prism's coming in. Or what would be even sicker is if he didn't use the DT and only waited for the Warp Prism, because that's a mind game. And HasuObs is trying to eliminate that mind game by scouting. And he's going to go and he's going like, all right, this is
what I expected.
All right, there's a robotics facility, there's a chrono boost. All right, so now he just needs to get like double observers, one on the natural, one in the main.
He just threw down a force field on his ramp even though there's nothing there. Because I'm watching, he's watching it like a hawk. He's absolutely watching it like a hawk here, this HasuObs.
He's even seeing it now. So just get double observers, make sure you have units in your main base as well. And, you know, don't take losses is the rule here.
Yep.
Of course, Welmu doesn't need to deal damage, but the main concern is not to take it from HasuObs.
And first observer joins at the natural, whilst the second observer is on the way as well here.
That's even almost too many units on the natural, I'd say. He's got to be careful though in case there was a frontal attack, some weird frontal attack, but he needs to make sure he has units inside the main base, otherwise he will take damage.
And it's 31 probes to 29 in favor of Welmu right now. So very, very minor, and Welmu is getting his Forge here as well. It's funny actually, the Forge coming out. I don't mind it a little bit earlier for Welmu because he's forced his opponent, with the Dark Shrine just being there alone, into a more defensive posture.
Do you know what's really weird? Is you look at the game usually and say, all right, the player's gone DTs, he kind of has to do damage, right? That's gas being spent. But think of all the resources that have been spent by HasuObs to make sure the defense is solid.
Exactly.
To get another observer to make sure he keeps on morphing units, he's got a lot more units than Welmu has at this point, which is kind of weird because now Welmu's the one with the double gases on the natural fast. Now Welmu's the one with +1 attack. Now Welmu's the one with Zealot charge. All through going for DTs that haven't done anything yet.
I'm very interested to kind of, if we theorize with Todd eventually later on, as to whether or not it's just worth going Dark Shrine almost every game to actually force these responses out of your opponent with the cost that it actually sits at, because Welmu looks all right here.
Welmu thinks so.
Yeah.
Maybe not every game, but a lot of the games for sure.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, end to go predictable and then just like,
HasuObs goes in and sees the gases on the natural. He's like, oh, God, this build, man. Jeez, I haven't even taken gases of my own yet. And it is a big threat, and he's scared. Remember, he's 2-1. If he loses this game to DTs, the game is over. He's had two really super fast, silly games in Game 1 and Game 2 that he's just lost.
Well, again, though, looking at the metagame in general right now, you get the Twilight Council out early, you get Templar Archives down, you get Charge going, you have the access to Archons, you have the access to that Charge super quickly. I think it's smooth. It is so smooth.
It's not disjointed when you go DTs, like you have to switch back over to Colossus or something. No, not anymore. So I do like Welmu's build here. HasuObs is in the lead though when it comes to army supply, 29 to 15.
6 gates.
But Welmu's got a lot of gateways coming in. I wonder if he just morphs Archons with his DTs and just goes for an attack at the front of his 7 gateways.
That's a lot of power.
Attack is finished.
Those High Templars morphing in here for the Archons to break force fields potentially.
I mean, Immortals suck against Zealot Archons.
Yeah. +2 weapons on the way, but it could just be for a transition later on if it doesn't work, because this is going to pack a lot of punch.
He's at 49 probes. He doesn't have to attack here, and let's just wait. See if he starts making units, or otherwise he looks for an expansion here.
Yeah.
It's a risk. There's photon overcharge. Maybe there's a time warp. Maybe there's force fields. Maybe there's just a big army. I think he's going to have a look first, maybe, with this hallucinated Phoenix.
If he sees his opponent's Templar Archives...
Well, maybe he just builds up an army and goes with +2. Because he doesn't need to rush this attack.
If he's just... I mean, how...
Like 2 more DTs?
Is he focusing Chrono Boost on the Forge? He is.
Yeah.
He's currently focusing Chrono Boost on the... he goes for the third.
And HasuObs is going to spot that immediately too. I think there's a hallucinated Phoenix there. But it is scary. I mean, Welmu's got a lot of gateways. He definitely can build a lot of units very fast.
Yeah, 3 Zealots, 1 Immortal, 2 Archons at the same time on the way here for Welmu. The Templar Archives just finishes, and Welmu, did he spot that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. So he knows the timing of that as well. Another Dark Templar warps in. Where are you, Dark Templar?
Yeah, just adding up Archons down here.
Ah, okay. Just works out a little bit better for his gas,
but look
I guess.
how much gas HasuObs has got. He definitely wants to be adding on Archons himself here. He's got a lot of gas. He can make quite a few.
Yeah, and he does not have charge himself. And Welmu is moving out across the field. This is a scary army. 51 army supply to 47. Not quite.
I don't know why he's not making. Why is HasuObs not making Archons?
Yeah, he kind of needs them.
He actually needs them.
Oh, Warp Prism.
He's got to be careful. 3 Stalkers.
Oh.
Make Archons, my man.
He certainly does need them. He's got a lot of Zealots warping in.
6 Zealots?
But against 4 Archons, if they're at the very front... Oh, 5 Archons. Oh, a lot of Zealots. Oh, more Dark Templars.
He's only on 6 gateways at the moment, and he just warped in 6 Zealots.
This army could crush through. This army could certainly crush through here.
At least he gets the kill on the 3rd, but...
Yeah.
HasuObs needs to morph Archons here. Look at the gas to mineral distribution.
3 Zealots go for the 3rd of
Okay, here they're coming in now. 4 High Templar.
Welmu's, I think he's missing his opportunity here.
Well, I'm not sure if he sees that opportunity.
Yeah.
Definitely has one.
1 High Templar walks
feedback.
forward.
Whoa! Nice job.
Very nice. That means any kind of retreat out, any kind of time warps is not there. Meanwhile, Dark Templar will clean up the
He cannot lose his
natural.
3rd. It's like a bait. It's like, come on, come down,
Yeah.
come down, come down,
Oh.
come down, come down, come down. Here we go.
Time warp as well as actually just pushing on forwards here. No time warps for Welmu though, and that comes at a very big price because HasuObs can kite much better here in this situation. But that's a lot of firepower here from Welmu. He's warping in right in the middle of the engagement as well, just behind with
HasuObs
those
has got
sellers.
so much money.
He needs to be able to actually get some more
Oh,
Archons.
and he loses his third, which is what he wanted to save here. Welmu's job is done. He doesn't need to attack into this. He can keep going, of course, but he doesn't need to.
Yeah, behind this, he's actually mining from his third base. 54 workers to 51, but his income spread across those 3 locations is very nice. Hasu goes for a warp into the top left, trying to do some damage again here, but
He
Welmu
needs
looks
to.
good.
He needs to. Plus 3 attackers on the way for Welmu. Welmu can start adding on more and more Immortals, more and more Archons with the gases he can take on his third base, which he's about to do. HasuObs, he needs to do something now, otherwise Welmu is going to be the one representing Europe to go to the Season 2 finals. He needs to start to make a plan. He's on 2 bases versus 3. This attack didn't work. It gets pushed back by Zealots with charge, and now HasuObs is like, I don't have that. I best get that too. I think that the Finnish player may be able to do this here.
It certainly looks like it. HasuObs here is trying desperately to expand back to his third base, knowing that he needs that. But again, Welmu's army, 91 army supply to 76. It's going to be difficult for him to break out of this position because now Welmu just sent a few zealots to that third location and he's happy as houses.
Welmu has got HasuObs where he wants him. He's got his arms on the ropes in the ring. He's got his balls, whatever you want to say. He's got him where he wants him.
Everything is locked down, but those zealots are locked behind these
The
Archons
Archons!
here. He still needs to actually move on
They're
forward.
at the back.
Oh, this is really, really hard for HasuObs. He's falling down in terms of supply right now. A lot of power in those Immortals, but there's not really any zealots for them to fully capitalize on that. The zealots charge forwards here. That's a lot being tanked for Welmu. He's doing a great job pushing on forwards, pushing Hasu back.
This is just awesome StarCraft from Welmu, and he really is getting redemption for himself after his yesterday's loss 0-3 to MC. Welmu's now saying, yes, I am still good in this matchup. I'm having a lot of fun, and I will represent Europe well in the Season 2 finals. I will show you with all those Protoss players that are going through to the Season 2 finals. I will show you, and we will do well. As in the Season 1 finals, Europe didn't do that well. They lost every single game, apart from Newkirk, of course. He went all the way to the semi-finals. But, well, I mean, Welmu, with a bit of Elfie spirit inside him as well, is now playing this out absolutely beautiful. He's set up a trap, he's got a great arc, he's got double army supply, he's got the third base, and HasuObs, unfortunately here, for all the German audience and all the German fans, is facing elimination. Unless magic happens.
Yeah, it's going to take a miracle to break out of this hold. And Welmu's so well set up right now. Even if Hasu just walks down the ramp, he can't set himself up a good concave either. He's going to be so bottlenecked right now against a great spot that Welmu finds himself in. And even if Hasu wants to go for harassment behind this, there's always Dark Templars and Zealots there waiting in the wings.
All right, here it is. This is it. This is the Germans' last hope. But I think Welmu's going to got this. He's got this in the bag. He must do.
Zealots well positioned there for Welmu with those Archons creating a great concave as well. So many Archons, 10-5, really providing amazing firepower. And Welmu crushes on through. The Archons trying to micro back, but it is not going to be done. GG, the Finn advances on to the season finals.
There were fist pumps coming out from Welmu as he was finishing up that game, and he will represent Europe in the Season 2 finals with our top 4 that have already gotten themselves that position. Welmu's excellence in his PvP continues to push him through deep into these tournaments, and well, I think he's really done well for himself this season. He finishes in top 6 in the WCS Europe Premier League Season 2, a fantastic finish from the Finnish player. We can see his reactions here on screen. The Bumblebee toss getting what he wants the most.
And yep, there's the GG. Very happy about that. And for HasuObs, it was an unfortunate draw for him going up against Welmu. He's very good at his PvP. And that means that Welmu bags himself $3,500 as well as 500 WCS points here for WCS Europe, of course. And then moving on into that season finals.
A minimum of $5,000 there just to be in that tournament. So a great position for him to be in top 16 in the Season 2 finals, of course, just automatically. Welmu continues to impress.
And it's actually also a minimum of 500 WCS points. So you bag yourself 1,000 points alone from
$8,500.
That's
in both.
We should play StarCraft professionally. That would be fun.
I think we're just really good at talking, not playing.
Yeah, probably. Oh well. Well, speaking of talking, we would like to hear from the man himself who advances on, Mr. Welmu.
Thanks very much, guys. Yeah, the old mantra is those that can do and those that can't talk about it. And I think we're firmly in that place right now. This man isn't. Congratulations. Fantastic games. Let's talk through the maps as they happen. First two maps, crazy fast. Todd and I were speaking off camera, and we didn't want to do this to you before because it kind of gives something away. But we said this is an ultimate clash of an aggressive Protoss against a very defensive Protoss. And you totally exploited that in the first two maps. Was that always the game plan?
Yeah, like I know quite well how HasuObs will play, and like they went like according to my plan. First game I didn't quite expect what he did, but it still worked. So yeah.
And crazy timing, 6 minutes 20. Those Dark Templars in game two. That's ridiculously early.
Yeah, like on that map, I know that HasuObs likes that build, and like I scouted him and I saw him going for that build, so I just went for fast DTs. I know that he wouldn't be attacking like before I have cannon, so like I just know better what he was doing and like won because of that.
Okay, and then the final map was there a point at what point in the game, because it wasn't that long of a game, but it was longer, what point did you kind of go, actually I've got this now? Because there is a moment, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I was like I thought that I was in good position all game long, but like when I first time denied the third base and first fight went pretty well for me, after that I was like sure I would win.
Yeah, you were mining from the third at the time, and he'd lost his third, and that was pretty much GG. I don't know if you can sum it up in words, maybe try, but 5th, 6th position at the WCS Europe Season 2 Premier League.
Well, I don't know. It's just nice.
Nice?
Yeah.
Really? Nothing more?
Yeah, well, it's really awesome. Really. Yeah. Really awesome.
I love the really. I can't do it, but it sounds fantastic to me. Welmu is your player who will be representing Europe. You will be going to the end of season global finals. The guys just said it's a guaranteed $8,500, 1,000 WCS points as well. So life doesn't get much better, does it?
No, I will still have some money left after if I have to pay some taxes. It's good.
Those Finnish taxes, darn them. One final question. How are you going to approach going to a tournament where there are 16 players and there is Bomber, Innovation, Maru, Rain, MC, MMA, Grubby, Duck, Tasia, Polt, J-Dong, Scarlet?
Wow, it will be so awesome, so good players, and I will just try to play my best and play with my good points.
Right, well, best of luck in that, and congratulations on finishing 5th, 6th as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Welmu is through to the end of season global finals. Fantastic performance against HasuObs. Let's go over to Todd, because he can break it all down for us and explain exactly how this man just claimed his place.
Thank you, Paul. Welcome back here at the analysis screen. I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about what I thought happened during this whole series. We knew it was going to be aggression versus defense. In the end, it was Welmu trying to set the pace for the entire series from the first game on with some attack on Newkirk Precinct, able to kill HasuObs with his first pressure, actually. That was not even an all-in. So that was very well done. And after this, I have to say, from the first game, he gained some momentum to keep on pressuring, and in the second game, again, he was able to win with, I have to say, a very daring build, going for those quick Dark Templars. At 6 minutes 20, he was already warping in Dark Templars down the ramp of HasuObs, who had no idea. I have to say, he did a poor job of scouting in that game on Whirlwind. So after that, 2-0 for Welmu. HasuObs, he had to collect himself. I'm sure he wanted to take it to the late game. No offense to Welmu, but I really think that HasuObs is much better in the late game. He managed to take it to the late game once on Bel'Shir Vestige, and he won very convincingly with those Tempests against this Colossi, and then came number 4. When I look at a very, very important and special moment in that game that you just saw on Derelict, we have Welmu, basically. He had gone for very aggressive builds, so now he played a little bit greedier, and he set himself up for the middle part of the game very nicely by having 2 gases at his expansion very early on over here. He had a very good saturation earlier than HasuObs. So HasuObs, he tried to catch up, and he rebuilt his worker count up to 52, as you can see, whereas Welmu, he stayed on 49. So although he made the third Nexus, he's planning on basically going for it right now. he had his economy before his opponent, and the most important thing that's gonna affect the outcome of this game and the fight mostly is the Archon count. Since Welmu had his gases at his expansion that much earlier than Hasu, he has 5 Archons versus 0 right now. How are you supposed to win against 5 Archons when you have none? It's going to be very, very hard right now. So we can look at Welmu's vision actually at this point. I guess you have to anticipate your opponent is going to be taking a third as well, so he's basically just going to stand in front of his opponent's base and send in some zealots into the third base. We can play the game from here. The army supply, I think, wasn't 67 to 63, so Welmu in the lead, but not too far ahead. The thing is, he has only 1 immortal against 3, and instead of those immortals extra, he has the 5 Archons, which are so important. Look, HasuObs has 0 Archons. I just don't know how he can win this against Archons when you have none. So Welmu, he doesn't send everything into the third base here. He's just going to send some zealots, and he's going to bait HasuObs into coming down the ramp. He wants it to happen, and Hasu, ultimately, although he probably knew that this was a bad choice, he had no choice but to come down. That was very nice, by the way. The feedback here, HasuObs proving once again he has the best Templar control in Europe, and one of the best in the world, in my opinion, as well. He tried to defend here with the zealots, but we have 4 against 2, game of numbers. Welmu having charge as well, and now he made his opponent come down the ramp, and although he has no time warp, he just has too much. Look at HasuObs, he sees immediately that he cannot fight against this, so he tries to go back up, then he tries to chase into the time warp. The time warp was very nice, obviously, but not enough to win against this many Archons. I mean, look at them. They're not feeling anything right now. These Immortals, they just tickle them. And from there, Welmu, he just needs to warp in a lot of extra zealots to make sure he can keep on reinforcing these Archons and win the fight. So if we just fast forward from there, we can just see like HasuObs right now, he has no third. Welmu has a third, although it's not very well saturated. The army supply is going to keep on increasing it. Can we take a look at the income, please? 54 walkers to 51, but look, the third base is saturated on minerals. So that's over a few minutes. This is going to be very important. Minerals and the army. I mean, Welmu is just extending his lead here. He doesn't need to attack. He doesn't need to risk losing at this point. He can just wait, be patient, and HasuObs, he has no choice. He has to fight. The more he waits, the worse it's getting for him. And HasuObs, he even had made charge like way too late. He's finally now starting to get Archons, but look at this amount of Archons. There is just no chance for him. So Welmu here with the very nicely timed attack, exploiting the advantage he gained early on in the game. That's it for the analysis. Congratulations to Welmu. We're going to be heading back to the social media desk to check in with Paul.
Thanks very much, Todd. Fantastic analysis, breaking down that PvP. Fantastic result from Welmu. And plenty of you coming through social media, letting us know what your thoughts were. Some Finns out there are very proud of the fact that Welmu has made it through, rolling his R's. See, I can't do it. I'm useless. Obviously wouldn't make a good Finn. But also plenty of love for HasuObs as well, who unfortunately crashed out of that 5th, 6th game. So plenty of love for him as well. He's played fantastically to get to the top 6 through the season too. As you probably saw there, we've got a few prizes to give away, one of which is the collector's edition of Heart of Swarm. Okay, you may have noticed that didn't work. So anyway, we've got 2 collector's editions now to give away of Heart of the Swarm, and we're going to give one to the crowd here and one to the people online. We'll tell you a little bit later on about the crowd here and how you can win one. But for now, those of you out there in the internet's world, you can win one of these by giving us your best meme ever. All you've got to do is include WCS somehow and include something StarCraft related. So it has to be StarCraft related, it has to be WCS related, it can be the logo, it could be Terrans, it could be Protoss, it could be anything you like, and maybe someone within the show. That includes the players or the commentators or, God forbid, me. And send us those pictures, create them over the afternoon. We'll announce the winner this evening. Send them over Twitter, link them to WCS, #WCS is the hashtag, and we'll throw some of these up a little later in the program and see how you're doing with these pictorial versions of WCS at StarCraft. And I'll fix the third one I broke. Anyway. So, For now, we're going to take a very quick break. Don't forget, keep interacting with us via social media as well. Facebook.com/StarCraft and Twitter.com/StarCraft. If you're not following and liking those pages, you damn well should be. And also send all your tweets to #WCS. Even if you don't want to do photos, keep the tweets coming. We really do appreciate it. We'll see you very shortly for the second, fifth, sixth game. It's going to be another epic match in StarCraft 2.